Now that we had agreed from page 71, we had agreed, me and Nalieka, that we will not let anything to come over between and separate our code. Our love shall likely bind us. Through hells and troubles, for good and for the worse, we vowed by the kid within us. By no means shall we stay apart. We asked ourselves perhaps some possible solutions for our fate, contemplated on possible pros and cons. Moving out of the village and perhaps get somewhere unknown will actually serve as some solution to, and rather than sit back and watch our people bones crushed to ashes. Therefore, moving out of the village will actually give us some temporary solution, and before we come back, declare ourselves a husband and wife, perhaps in an official ceremony. But meanwhile, as long as we shall find us some place and hide, that will be better for us. We made our minds to move for better for us. We left our comfort zones and adventured to the unknown world. She also accepted like an ewe got on heat, because fire had rekindled and grown big to burn our behind Maddox. Troubles and pressure from her parents pushed her to the walls. Mzanyongeza will feast on me the day he will realize I was behind and perhaps responsible to have inflated the bulging stomach of her daughter like a basketball. That caused panic and alarm to my heart. The anger that had developed in Mr. Nyongeza's bald cheek made him look like one suffering from vita ndani, a disease that caused cheeks to swell. Given a chance, he will chop my head. He was talented. The road to the east was clearly feasible, because the white missionaries had been using that track as they came from the big center Bungoma. We followed step by step, counting our steps. We didn't have any other modalities or means of transport, if not the legs that carried our weight. The train with smoking engine came by twice a week, and there were no black people who were allowed to board. Only the white skin had the permission. Perhaps one colored person, one black skin that entered was that of Mr. Hatete. You could see him majestically walking, heavily loaded, entered the rear cabins of the train. He carried enough booklets for the white missionaries. He will be allowed in the rear cabin that is for the third class, while the white sat in the front, well-furnished cabins with toilets inside, that is the self-contained mobile houses. We motivated ourselves that our future days will be pride and bring forth good fortunes. Life will be better some days. We kept moving, but also the behind hot fire kept us on toes. We followed forward became necessary ever and ever, backward never. That path kept us going. It was a clear path, but before a thick forest of Bunambovi, that we found a cloud-covered thick forest of indigenous trees. Such a long all-day walk took us through the dusty road towards the north. The road became suddenly unclear. Pulling through the forest, yet daytime lights began to vanish as dusk beaconed from the corner. There were a handful of human persons. We walked as we sought somewhere to shelter. Walking helter-shelter, sometimes we could run. More fear crept our hearts as the bush became more thicker. What if all animals that lived in that place will find us? How about the green snakes that do not smile on human flesh? Inserting her tongue on our heels, it will be painful. We ought to be cautious and very careful indeed. Such a wild an enemy to human do not make fun, as much as my heels had hardened over horse's hooves, ready to trample on that item, but I got scared. More was, we stepped on human skeletons of men never buried. but dumped there to rot. Such were days burials for the human beings were never done. It was not that necessary to dig a hole and bury somebody. Human bodies were left to rot, or wild beasts and hyenas would find some nice meals on them. That bush began slowly to vanish, and the sky finally appeared from the horizon. Life began again. Few houses could be seen, and possibly there lived human species inside. An elderly lady appeared as she also emerged from the same bush. She carried a bunch of firewood. She was meandering towards the village where life was found. I greeted her, Oriana, in my language. She replied, Mbela. I was surprised, amazed, and even shocked that she spoke our language. How could this strange land speak our language? You mean our language was such wildly populated and sparsely, even to such far